Can you just say your name, spell your name?
My name's William L. Hendricks1, William Hendricks III.
And when you're talking to us, I want you to forget about this thing.
Alright,
Forget about this thing.
Just talk to us.
Alright.
Just look at us. If you need to, stay off in a distance, that's fine. Just don't.
How old are you now, Billy?
I'm 53.
Where are you living at? Where are you living at?
I'm living in Winfield in an old barn, like they converted into apartments.
Wow, that sounds neat. What do you do for a living?
I work at Furman's.
What do you do there? Like what?
I run machines and stuff for the pouch, the beans they put in pouches and stuff, forklift and stuff.
And that's now as of 2018. But let's go back to 1986.
1986.
Well,
Okay.
before you go all the way back to 1986, when you came in today, you were really emotional.
Yeah.
You were visibly shaking and you were upset. Just really quickly, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, see, I guess I've never really talked about it, just between Scott and I, but, it's just hard. It's a hard thing to do, what I mean?
Is that because, well, you never spoke out. This is the first time you're speaking out on it. So you've seen a lot of media coverage on both of these, the disappearance of Barbara Miller and obviously this whole case, which you were a huge part of. So to start to hear a little bit that maybe there was mistakes made and you now have an opportunity here to clear your reputation and name because of the fact that you, allegedly did not have any parts of this. Is that a big thing for you?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because some people think, that we did it, and some people think we don't, what I mean? It's, like when I first got out of prison in April of '07, they sent me to a halfway, I wasn't prepared at all to get out. My mindset was, I'm a lifer, and I didn't learn anything while I was in prison. I just cooked. I was a cook in the kitchen for all those years. I didn't learn how to use a computer or anything because I knew I was never getting out. So they sent me down to Reading, to a halfway house in Reading, and it was just, I was scared. I felt that people could look at me and tell where I've been. It was just a thing that I was, I didn't know how to use ATM. I didn't know how to use the bus. There was no cell phones when I went to jail. It was just crazy. It was like the whole world, changed. Wow.
Things sounded different, probably.
Oh,
Things smelled different.
Everything was different. Yeah, it was like a shock.
Was it something though when you, well let's go back to just explain now. So 1986 in December, out of nowhere, this murder of Ricky Wolf takes place over at the...
See, I didn't even know about it.
You didn't even know about it. When was the first time you found out about it?
You know what? That's a funny story. I was at it was March of '89. I was at my stepdad's wedding reception at the old trail. My dad came over and said 2 state police detectives were looking for me and that they wanted me to get in touch with them. So, I'm not a runner, I'm not a hider, because we were doing a lot of drugs. We were doing a lot of weed, and that's just, I can't lie about that. And I figured that they were I figured that, the jig is up, So I go up there to Milton, and it's really strange because I was in the waiting room and I saw this flyer of Ricky Wolf. And I'm reading it, because I was, just trying to find something to do while and I was reading it and I was thinking to myself, I never even heard about this. It happened so close to, to
And that's 3
home.
years later.
Yeah. So I go in to this office and these two, I don't know, it was Juan Zaleski and I forget who the other one was. And as soon as I walked in, they had a big, the whole wall was full of pictures of us, me, Scott, Yoder, at all these different parties. And, because I guess they arrested some people for drugs and they confiscated their photo albums and all that. And I figured, okay, that's what it is. It's the weed thing, you know what I mean? So they told me to sit down. I sat down. Next thing you know, they throw these handcuffs up on the desk. And they said, "Did you ever see these before?" I said, "No." And they said, "Well, these are the handcuffs that you used to handcuff Ricky Wolf with." And I'm thinking, what the hell, you know what I mean? So they throw this wooden pipe up on there. And they were trying to ask me if, they said, "This pipe is yours." And I said, "No." And then I just stopped right there. I said, "Look, If you want me, you come get me. And I left. That's what happened. In May 9th, 1989, they came and got us. Well, I called Scott right after that. So they came back. I told Scott that what happened. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, we weren't worried about it. You know, we didn't do it. I thought they were just fishing or whatever, you know what I mean? And
Did you know Ricky?
No,
Had you ever heard his name?
no,
Anything?
never.
So he was a stranger. He was.
Yeah, I didn't know. So that's what happened that day in March when I went up to the state police, and I was working at Townsend Chicken at that time.
And where were you May 9th when they came?
I was at my grandmother's house. That's where I was living at,
And
and they
you just
scared the
knocked on the
shit
door?
out of her because they rolled up in there with guns and everything. It's crazy, you know, 80-year-old woman, and you know,
Oh, they came with guns and all 9 yards.
yeah.
And what did you say when they came? You still thought it was, or then you knew it was over the Ricky Wolf?
Well, it had to be. It's the only
Yeah.
thing they could.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, coming in like that.
And what did you say when they came? You said,
I didn't really say too much. I was in shock. You know what I mean? They took me up out of there, and they took me up to Keir's office up in Milton, and I was on the front page of the paper that day. I have it. You know, I had long hair, and you know, I was
Right.
like, you know, 80s kind of, you know, and then yeah, I mean, it didn't sink in for years and years. You
and
know
was
what I mean?
Scott there at the same time when they brought you and they brought him in too?
No,
No.
they got Scott early in the morning on the way to work.
And you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know. No, they got Scott like at 4:30 in the morning. Like when he was living out that way somewhere,
Yeah.
and they converged on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then you go to the office and they said you're being charged with murder.
Yeah. Murder and all this other stuff.
What's going through your
Kidnapped.
mind when they're telling you?
Well,
murdered
I just,
Ricky Wolf.
I mean, I really can't tell you what was going through my mind at that time. It was just, I just didn't believe it was happening. You know what I mean? I figured. Here's what I figured. You know, once see they separated me from everybody else. They put me in Union County, and everybody else was. Yoder was out in Schuylkill County, and Byers and Scott were in Northumberland County, and they separated me in Union County. I didn't know why at the time, but I found out later. So they, we went to our preliminary hearings, and it was a fiasco. They had helicopters flying above us, and you know, because of the, you know, the Warlock thing or whatever they thought, you know.
And you had no parts of motorcycle,
No,
okay?
no. I mean, I knew Tom all my life.
Yeah.
We grew up together. We were next door neighbors. We grew
Yeah.
up together, and
Yeah.
you know, and you know, but he, you know, he went out. See, I was out in Arizona I went out to Arizona when I was 13 because I got in a lot of trouble as a kid, and my mom and them were thinking about moving out there. So the judge, I forget that old judge, Creel or